Hey everybody, this is Cam at Cam Pete Music, and this video is going to be about how to learn to play a solo guitar version of Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers. So before we get started and putting this whole thing together, we're going to look at the individual pieces of vocabulary that we're going to use to play this song. So we're going to look at the A minor chord, E minor, G, some of the extended voicings that I'm using, the bass line, the melody, and the scale that I use to play that. So let's take a look at those chords. Alright, let's take a look at the vocabulary that makes up Ain't No Sunshine. So the song is made up of really only 4 different chords: A minor, E minor, G major, and D minor. Now there's a couple of different ways to play each of these chords to accommodate the melody and the arrangement of the song. Let's take a look first at what the chords look like in the first half of the song. So the first part is an open A minor chord. Now I like to finger pick this. I'll explain what I do with my finger picking in just a second, but I'm just using the standard voicings for each of these. Let's go over them. So this is A minor, E minor, and the way I play my G major chord for this song is I'm just going to hold down the 3rd fret of my E string and play the D, G, and B strings open with it. Now the fingering of this is kind of important, so it'll accommodate the transition and everything. So it's just a normal A minor, E minor, middle finger for the G, back to the A minor. The song count for the A section is going to be 2 beats for A minor, 1 beat of E minor, 1 beat of G major, and then a measure of A minor. So it's a 2-bar phrase, and it gets repeated twice for a total of 4 bars. It sounds like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the way I'm picking this, my thumb is on the bass notes of each of those chords, and I'm using these 3 fingers to pick the D, G, and B strings. These 3 fingers don't change what strings I'm playing. The only finger that's moving is my thumb to accommodate the bass notes. So for my A minor chord, I'm going to play bass A, open A string, and then this. So I'm going to go bass, chord, chord. Try that again. Bass, chord, chord. Do the same thing for E minor. Bass, chord, G major, bass, chord, back to A minor. Give it a try. If finger picking doesn't work for you, you can use a pick, and the pick would be like this. I personally like using the finger picking to get more control of the dynamics of the melody. Let's look at the B section of the song. When it goes to the second half of this melody, you're going to go to an E minor 7 chord, and the way that I play it is playing my open E minor, but I'm going to add my pinky to the 3rd fret of my B string. The reason for this is because the melody note is going to be that note. So we're adding it to our chord because that's the chord and the melody note at the same time. And then we're going to play D minor, but the only thing we're going to play for that is an open D in the 2nd fret of G. And the reason for that is because the 2nd fret of the G string is the melody note when the D minor chord gets played. So, and. So in total, what we have for the A section and the B section is 7 for one measure. So 2, 3, 4, then that D minor chord, just open D in the 2nd fret for one measure. 3, 4, back to the original A section, A minor, E minor, G major, A minor. Alright, next let's take a look at what the string part is, because it's just going to be those same chords, but with some different voicings. Let's take a look. Alright, so now let's take a look at what this string part is like. So go ahead and play an open A minor chord, same way we were playing it for the A section of the song. But this time take your 3 fingers and stick them not on the D, G, and B strings, but the G, B, and high E string. The reason we're doing this is because we want to have the high E string in there, because this is the first melody note of the string section. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this melody and we're going to harmonize it with the chords that would be happening underneath them. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find an A minor chord that has an E as its top note and an A as its top note. So here's an A minor chord that has E inside the top. What we're going to do is now we're going to bar up here like we're going up to this bar, A minor chord. You don't have to bar the whole thing. You can play the open A and play the top 3 strings of the 5th fret, the G, B, and E string. So total. The next part of the melody is this note, and it happens over an E minor chord, which means that we want to play it with the notes of an E minor chord. So this is an E and a D. This makes for an E minor 7. You could also play a little G major triad right here, D, G, and B. This would also make that, since we're playing an E in the bass. Whichever one works nicely. But total we have A minor, A minor. This is going to be an E minor. I'm using my 3rd finger for the D, 1st finger for the 5th fret of my B string, and my pinky for the 7th fret, the B note, the melody note of my high E string. Like that. The next melody part of the string section is the 3rd fret, this G. It's happening over a G chord, so I'm just going to play a G with it, an actual open G chord. And then it concludes on an A minor. So this melody played at the same time with the chords that would be happening underneath them, which are the same chords as the A section. Sounds like this. Play an E bass note for this next one because it's an E minor chord. A G bass note for this one because it's over a G chord, then back to an A minor chord. Now I'm kind of raking this like this. I'm doing that by just kind of pulling my fingers off the strings. You don't have to do it that way. You can go. But if you use a pick, you can also go. Honestly, all 3 have value. All 3 have a different dynamic. All 3 have a kind of a different articulation. So it's up to you. I do recommend practicing each of them. All right, now let's take a look at the scale that we're going to use to play the melody. All right, so the scale that has all the melody notes in it is going to be the open A minor scale. So some of us know the open, or excuse me, like an A minor pentatonic scale traditionally played on the 5th fret. This shape. Now, those same notes, but I'm going to play them in the position that I'm playing my chords in so that it's accessible, so that when I put these parts together, they're easy to play at the same time or following one another. So that scale down in this position starts on the open A string, so that's our root of this scale. And it's the third fret of the C, or excuse me, third fret of the A string, which is the C. Open D, second fret of the D, open G, second fret of the G, first fret of the B string, but for this sake in this song there's an open B note, so you can add open B, first fret, third fret of the B string, open high E, and third fret of the high E string. In total it sounds like this. I'm adding this note, the B, then the first fret, and backwards. So you can hear how those go together nicely. I recommend taking a minute and practicing that scale, getting it under your fingers. Next, I'm going to show you how to play this melody, but if you know the scale, learning the melody will be even easier because I'm playing the melody using all those same notes of that scale. Alright, let's take a look at what the melody's like. It's going to start on the second fret of our D string. Play it with your middle finger. Then you've got your open G, then your second fret of your G. The rhythm of those first three notes goes like this: 3, 4, 1. Three, 4, 1. So it's good to know where the pickup of that is. It starts after the beat of 1. So 3, 4, 1 starts on beat 2. It's important to do that so that you get the feel of the melody and it comes in at the right place. The next half of this melody starts on the first fret of the B string. Then it goes to the open B, the open G, and the second fret of G. In total you have second fret of D, open G, second fret of G, first fret of B, open B, open G, second fret of G. The rhythm of it will go like this: 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Oops. 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. The B section melody starts out the same way, but it goes up to the high E string. Here's how that goes. So the B section melody is going to start the same way as the A section melody. So this is going to be starting on the second fret of the D string, open G, second fret of the G, first fret of the B string, open high E string. So rhythmically it would go 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. After you play that, it's going to go to the first fret of the B and then the third fret of the B. The rhythm would be 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. After that, it's going to go, you ended on the third fret of the B string, you're going to play that note again, and then the first fret of the B, second fret of the G, open G. So, total it would sound like this: 3, 4, 1. After you play that open G, you're gonna play the second fret of your D, then the open G, and the second fret. In total, it would sound like this. You can hammer on to the second fret. So if you combine both of these parts together, it would sound like this: 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. The last part of this melody is going to go on the first fret of the B string, and then the third, and back. Go ahead and hammer on between these two notes and pull off. This is the part of the song where he's singing anytime. And then it's going to go second fret of your G, open, second fret of your D, open G, hammering onto the second fret. In total, it'd sound like this. In rhythm, the whole thing sounds like this: 3, 4, 1. Two, 3, 4, 1. Three, 4, 1. And so that's the whole B section. So we've got the chords, the string section, and the melody. So these are all the pieces. Now let's put it all together. Let's check that out. Alright, so let's break this down. When we put these parts together, we're going to start by playing the chords. Now, the way that the chords go is, like I said, it's 2 beats of A minor, 1 beat of E minor, 1 beat of G, and then you get 4 beats of A minor. In that measure of A minor, you're going to be playing this melody. So it's kind of a call and response between playing the chord part and then the melody. The song starts with the pickup of the melody. So when you play this by yourself, you're going to think to yourself, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then you're going to start playing the chords. And then the melody again. Go ahead and practice this kind of slowly. So think of it as this fast. 3, 4, 1. Now, in the song, you're only going to play that twice before you move on to the B section melody. So here's what the B section melody will sound like, mixed with the chords. So you're starting off by playing this first part, going up to the high open E string. When you, instead of playing this note by itself, you're going to play it with the E minor 7 chord. Hold that chord and play the 3rd fret and 1st fret with your pinky and 1st finger. So you're going to go. What I like to do is stick my pinky on the G string. So what I'm doing is I'm hammering on this. My third finger is stuck here from the E minor chord, and I'm taking my pinky away from that 3rd fret of my B string and sticking it on the G to help play this melody. It's a little bit of maneuvering here, but it's a little practice, and actually if you isolate it just by sticking your 3rd finger and playing, and try that a couple times, it'll make it easier. In total, what you have is this. And then you're gonna go Alright, so now let's take a look at this B section melody. The B section melody is a little tricky because you're going to be holding this E minor 7 chord while you're playing a melody around with it. But this is how I do it. I'm going to go up for the first part of the melody. So it starts with that same starting on beat 2. So 3, 4, 1, 2. Play the E minor 7 up to the 3rd fret of your B string. Don't play the high E string with that chord. Don't do that. Go up to the B. And then while this chord is ringing, play your pinky, 1st finger on the B, pinky on the 2nd fret of the G, open G, and the 2nd fret of your D string. Now, you're holding that down with that E minor chord. In total, it sounds like this. your hand off to get ready to play that D minor chord by strumming the D and the G string at the same time and hammering on to the second fret of your G. In total, it sounds like this from the pickup of the melody. One more time. And then you're going to play 1, 3, 1, second fret, open G. And then instead of playing the last note of the melody, you're going to start with the A minor chord. And that'll be the end of the song. From the beginning of the song to the end, what you have is this: 3, 4, 1. And that leads us to the next part, which is playing the melody again, but instead of playing this chord figure, we're going to play the string part. So the way we do that is by playing the melody, A minor, A minor, E minor, G, A minor. So you're still playing those chords, but you're voicing it in a way that highlights that string melody.